Strategic silence in negotiations. Most people lose negotiations before they even open their mouths. They talk too much. They rush to respond. They fill silence because it feels uncomfortable. But in high-stakes negotiations, silence isn't weakness, it's power. Whether you're negotiating a salary, a contract, or a difficult personal conflict, strategic silence can completely change the outcome. And the science behind it is surprisingly clear. Researchers studying negotiations found something interesting. Breakthroughs were far more likely to happen after silent pauses than during rapid back-and-forth conversation. Why? Because silence changes how the brain operates. When people stop talking for just a few seconds, the mind shifts from emotional reaction to analytical thinking. Instead of defending positions, both sides start evaluating possibilities. In other words, silence creates space for smarter decisions. But there's another reason it works. Humans are deeply uncomfortable with silence. Studies show that even 4 seconds of silence can create psychological pressure in a conversation. Our brains interpret it as tension, disagreement, or rejection. So what do people do? They start talking. And when people talk to fill silence, they often reveal more than they planned to. Their doubts, their reasoning, sometimes even their real bottom line. You didn't ask a question. You just stayed quiet. Silence also signals confidence. Think about it. The person who rushes to speak looks nervous. The person who calmly waits looks composed and in control. When you're comfortable with silence, you project authority. You appear thoughtful rather than reactive. That perception alone shifts the power dynamic. Silence is also one of the best ways to neutralize aggressive negotiation tactics. If someone throws out an outrageous number or a ridiculous demand, most people immediately argue. But a stunned silence can be far more effective. When you say nothing, the other person starts questioning their own position. The anchor they tried to set suddenly feels uncertain, and often they start adjusting it themselves. Silence also turns you into a better observer. When you're not talking, you're watching. You notice hesitation, micro-expressions, shifts in tone, moments of uncertainty. These signals reveal what the other person is actually thinking, not just what they're saying. So, when should you use strategic silence? First, after they make an offer. Instead of responding immediately, let the offer sit in the air. That pause forces them to reconsider their position. Second, after you state your own position, make your proposal clearly, then stop talking. This prevents you from negotiating against yourself. Third, when someone uses an extreme anchor, silence shows the number didn't land without escalating the conflict. Fourth, during emotionally charged moments, a pause can de-escalate tension and reset the tone of the conversation. And finally, when you simply need time to think. Instead of filling space with nervous words, pause intentionally. If needed, you can signal the pause with a simple phrase like, "Give me a moment to think about that." The key is the timing. The most effective silence usually lasts between 3 and 9 seconds. Shorter than that, and the impact disappears. Much longer, and it becomes awkward or counterproductive. During that silence, maintain calm body language. Keep steady eye contact. Avoid fidgeting. The goal isn't intimidation. The goal is composure. Most people treat negotiation like a fast conversation. Constant replies, constant explanations, constant noise. But negotiation isn't about talking. It's about control. Control of information, control of pacing, control of decisions. And the person who is comfortable with silence controls all three. So the next time you negotiate something important, remember this. Your strongest move might not be what you say. It might be what you don't. Use silence deliberately, use it strategically, and watch how quickly the balance of power shifts in your favor. Do you like this content? Like and subscribe.